ipinapanalangin ang paglilingkod at kapakanan namin. Kaya aming pangako, lalo pang matatapa, nang sa'yo'y maging karapat-dapat. Pagmamahalan na mapagmalasakit, alanganan sa aming kapakanan, siya'y tunay na nagpapagal para sa kabuuan.
This is INCradio DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Hello.
Hola! Bonjour!
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao! Ciao!
안녕하세요.
Mabuhay!
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights. Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words,
come
home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INCradio Seattle, Washington. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all members and listeners around the world. We thank you for joining us for yet another edition of INCradio Seattle, Washington. I am your host for today, Brother Marlon Taduran from the local congregation of Tacoma, Washington. And we have a very exciting topic to share with all of you today on our program. On today's show, our topic will be, how do you read? All right. Sounds like a lot of fun. So what is your preferred way of reading a book? What are the benefits of reading? And how does one get into reading? We'll talk about that and more in our discussion later on with our guests that have joined us for this very exciting topic. We'll also be joined later on by our correspondent, who will have an update on the news and activities here in our district. And we'll also have a hidden treasure segment showcasing an amazing place located right here in Washington State. So don't miss it. We have an exciting program coming up. Tell all your friends and loved ones to tune in so that they can join in all the fun that we'll be having on our program today. We also have our ongoing hashtag challenge. Hashtag. All right. When you comment in the chat, be sure to leave a hashtag with your local congregation, and the winning congregation will be the one with the most hashtags in the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now. Ooh, I see the congregation of Everett. Lots of Everett. Congregation of Federal Way. Wow. So it is going on, the challenge. So leave those hashtags in the chat, and we'll announce the winners next week. So with that said, when you're participating in the hashtag challenge, be sure that you comment on the actual YouTube link that contains in the title INCradio Seattle, Washington, and not INCradio live stream. So if you want those hashtags to count, make sure it says INCradio Seattle right there in the title. Now it is time to introduce you to all the guests that we will be having for our topic of discussion. How do you read? And we want to first start with our sister Maylin. So Sister Maylin, please tell us your name, what local congregation you're from, and if you have any shout outs, now is your time to do so.
Well, good afternoon to everyone listening right now. As Brother Marlon mentioned, I'm Sister Maylin. I'm from the locale of Burien, and just want to say hi to everyone that's supporting this INCradio, and at the same time, hello to my Burien family. Thank you for supporting, and hope you enjoy this show.
All right, and I'm sure they will with one of having you as one of our guests for today's topic. We also have two very familiar faces sharing a screen today. So if you could, Sister Tia and Sister Hazel, go ahead and introduce yourselves. And if you have any shout outs, you can also shout them out as well.
Hi, I'm Sister Hazel Valdez from the local of Everett, and shout out to the local of Everett. Hopefully to see you all late tomorrow.
Yes, and I'm Sister Tia, also from the local of Everett. Shout out to Everett fam, all our family watching, all the Manalo clan, because we got 2 Manalos here.
Oh, and the Valdez and the Torres.
All right. So, very happy to have both of you as guests for our very awesome topic of discussion today, which is how do you read? And even though we are packed with many guest speakers today, 3 of them. It's been a while since we've had a full room of speakers, which we always encourage any of our viewers, if you'd love to be a guest on INCRadio Seattle, Washington, contact us. We'd love to have you on the show. This is our show in the district, and we want to share it with everyone. So we want to have all that fun together. But for those of you that are at home, listening from our YouTube channel, you can participate through our chat. And this is our question for all the brethren and guests attending from there. Do you prefer physical or digital books? And I'll throw a curveball in there as well. Do you maybe like audiobooks? So there's another medium that you can put there. We'd love to hear your input, and we will read your responses throughout our discussion today. But now, let's go ahead and get into our discussion about how we read. So we're going to go right into it with starting with Sister May. If you would share with us, how do you prefer to read a book, and why is that your preferred method?
Okay. Before I talk about that, just want a quick shout out to my friend out there from California, Nessie Galvez de Guzman. He used to be from Tacoma. Thank you for listening. So here, my preferred way, to tell you honestly, I envy people that read books. Well, Tia, one of them, whenever she posts. So I've been really wanting to read books, but I couldn't get into it because I get distracted when I read a book. So I was trying to figure out a way. What can I do? Because I'm so busy, I can't really have a physical book. So I started out with digital. Because I'm busy throughout the day, I figured, okay, let me go start out with digital, read before I go to sleep. But the problem is I tend to fall asleep pretty quick. So what I started doing after that is I started myself reading with digital and listening to audio at the same time. And that made me finish my first book, which was year 2022. Yeah, year 2022. And right after that, I transitioned myself to take away the audio, and eventually I started reading without the audio and just stuck with digital, only because that's the best way for me to read a book when I'm in bed or when I wake up in the morning, because I'm just pretty busy.
All right. Well, yeah, it helps a lot, especially when you're busy, to consume that type of media of reading. Also want to ask Sister Tia and Sister Hazel, which one of you would like to speak first. Go ahead and tell us your preferred way of reading a book.
Personally, I'm the same way. Like I get distracted really easily, which is why for a while it's taken me a while to get back into reading after I've been in like a reading slump. So, but I don't know why I've never been able to get into digital books, unlike Sister May. I'm the opposite. I like physical books.
Yes.
I think for me, it's like I can see how much I've read and how much I still have left. I think that's what gets me going, because then I'm like, oh, I already read like so much, or I still have so much to read. So I like seeing how far into the story. Because with the digital one, I'm sure it shows you like a little counter of like, oh, page whatever out of
On the bottom, yes.
yes, but it's different. It's different than like physically holding a book and being able to flip the page.
You feel like you're really reading, and yeah. Because with me, it's like, oh, when I started the digital, I go, oh, where am I at now?
I think also
Yeah.
for digital, because when I was in school, like a lot of our stuff, all the articles and things that we had to read were online. And I think that's what like put me off of digital books, because then it just reminds me of reading an article that I had to do for school, and I didn't like that. So but yeah, I think physical is the way for me personally.
Yeah, I would love to go digital because I have lots of books. Oh,
yes.
boxes and boxes. But I also love audiobooks because I ride the light rail to work, and sometimes it gets too crowded. But if I'm just listening to it, you can kind of, and it depends also who's doing the narration. It's nice, and they put the feeling into it. It's like, oh, that is nice. And you can close your eyes and it will take you where they're actually at, because they actually will describe you the scene. So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because it's the way they tell the story that brings you to that place.
To
And
that place, yes.
right. And when I read on my own, I don't think the way I read the story would actually bring me to another place. I need someone to guide me, basically.
Yes.
For
Yeah,
me,
because the way they tell it.
yes. For me, I've also when I first heard about audiobooks, I thought that was really silly until
Mhm.
I
You
actually
tried
tried
it.
it out, and it kind of brings me back. It's sort of nostalgic, when you're growing up as a child and it's like story time. It's
Yeah.
really neat to hear like a book being read to you, and the way that the speaker interprets maybe like the voices of different characters.
Correct.
You can get that. It and they have a way of making you want to listen to more.
Hmm.
The audiobook I was listening to, it kept on giving me cliffhangers, and I was like, oh, I need to listen to the next chapter. So it can be a lot of fun consuming reading through that outlet also. We have a lot of responses from our chat right now, so I'd like to share those also. We have one from Sister Rachel Perganan. She says, I prefer physical books. Well, there's something about being able to physically turn a page that feels like an accomplishment for me. So having it in your hand, flipping the pages, watching the book, all the pages go to one side and getting closer to the end, I can see what you're saying there, Sister Rachel. We have one from Sister Catherine Joy Monforte. She says digital books. She says it's the best for moms with toddlers. Hashtag Tacoma. We have one from Sister Diana DePano. She says, I'm not much of a book reader. I think I'd rather listen to audiobooks. So sort of like what Sister Hazel was saying, like if you're on the go, you pop in your headphones and you can listen to them even with your eyes closed. I saw in the chat somewhere, but I can't find it. Someone said they prefer audiobooks too, but it's because they can't read a book while they're driving a car. So they want to be flipping pages and stuff while they're driving. That's dangerous. We have one from Sister Marissa Reyes. She also is for physical. She says reading a physical book is the best because she says she is old school. Hashtag Seattle. Yes. And we have one from Brother Von Torres. He says he used to read a lot of books during military deployments between 91 and '07. He used a tablet for convenience. So that's a good point too. If you want to read a lot of books, but don't want to carry them around in a backpack, all over the place, that is a big advantage of having them digitally all in one tablet to bring with you on your travels. So, a lot of good points there from our listeners, and it's great that we have a lot of readers here in the district. Maybe with all of you here, we can start a book club of some sort and encourage reading.
It's gonna be an online book club.
There you go.
So we're all gonna be selfish.
I
Love more
volunteer.
situation.
I can do storytelling
There you go.
Oh
for
yes, you had
people
the
that
books
are
for
audiobook fans. So let's go ahead and go back into our discussion. Wow, this is going by quickly. But what are the pros and cons you've experienced with the different types of books? Let's start with Sister Tia. So, with all these mediums, we have digital, physical, audio. What have been the pros and cons for you dipping into those types of mediums?
Yeah, so I think we were kind of already brushing on it because, everyone's different. It's all about preference, right? So, me personally, like I said, for me, physical books, so I can see how far into the book I am. I really like that because it motivate like someone. I think one of the comments mentioned like motivation because yeah, when I see that I still have so much left, I'm like I want to keep reading so I can get to the end. So that physical aspect definitely helps. And then, like I said, with the cons, I haven't had any audiobooks because I don't know. I don't know. I've never been into audiobooks. I just maybe I should try it after this one. After this discussion, it's kind of getting me interested. I'm interested to see what the hype is is about. So I'll try an audiobook at some point. So I can't really say much about that. But for digital books, like I said, for me I just can't. Like I guess my focus just isn't there because I think of school and all the schoolwork that I had to do. Um, because of COVID, a lot of it, it was all online. So yeah, that's why I that's my cons, my pros and cons.
How about you, Sister Hazel? What are your pros and cons?
Well, with with audiobooks, sometimes I fall asleep because I'm listening.
When it's such a soothing
It
voice.
lulls me to sleep.
I have the same
And then,
problem, but with physical. My book becomes the pillow because my attention
That
span
has
can be
happened to
very
me.
short, and I go head first into reading, but literally.
Literally.
Yes.
because I think with the audiobook, I go, oh, wait, what chapter am I on now? I was only in chapter 2 and now I'm chapter 6 because I dozed off. But that's one of the problems I had with the audiobooks. But the the pro on that one is, I can listen everywhere, anywhere. My job actually, I can listen and do stuff at the same time. So I can listen. I just need to listen to people while they're talking, if they're talking to me, and I have to stop. I was like, "Ah, I have to stop." But yeah, it's very portable.
Mhm.
It's same with digital, but like I said, I'm old school. I have to feel the paper, and I don't know. It's something about flipping, like what the other sister said. Flipping the pages, it's like, oh, I'm reading. I'm actually reading.
Progress.
Yes.
I think yeah. Because when you're scrolling, because some books you do like scroll
Yeah.
pages, I guess, but some are like you just keep
You up.
scrolling and
Mhm.
scrolling, and you
I
like it
lose my
doesn't.
spot
Yeah,
too.
it doesn't like really differentiate the pages
Yeah.
as well.
And
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm making any progress.
Yeah.
And I go, and my eye is just going.
And, and
The
interestingly,
digital is like,
that's
Regardless of
popping
reading
up
books, right?
in our chat, along with the physical touch of the book and flipping the pages. A lot of them are saying they enjoy the smell of
Oh
the
yeah,
book.
the smell, especially the smell of new books. Yes,
or
if you know, you know,
the
or
old
the
book,
old new. Yeah.
the old book is like, this is old. This should be good.
You're not basing the book on its cover. You're basing it off of
on
the
the smell.
I go, let me smell the book. It's gonna be good.
Okay, we are running out of time. This is going by very quickly. But before we end our discussion, I just want to ask Sister May, for anyone that is trying to get into reading, what is your advice for new readers?
Well, my advice for new readers, because I had a hard time trying to get into books, even though I wanted to so much and envy those. So what I did, as I mentioned earlier, is I tried reading. It didn't work, and just like you, Brother Marlon, we really hit the books physically when we're trying to read, right? But so what I did is I listened to audio, and again, depends on what type, who's doing the audiobook, and read it at the same time. And it actually led me to start reading books actually without the audio itself. So if there are people who are having a hard time reading just the physical book, try reading it with an audio at the same time, and it gives you a different outlook of the story. And little by little, just to go ahead and remove the audio and then try to read it on your own, and then you'll find yourself finishing the book.
Many different ways to go ahead and try reading for yourself. So hopefully this discussion we've had today served as an inspiration to help you pick up a book, whether it be digital, physical, or listening through audiobooks, and see what works best for you. It's a whole new world to, to enjoy, and if we have that book club we were talking about, you can join in and be with each and every one of us there. So we're going to go into our next segment, but thank you all to our speakers today. Sister Hazel, if you could, CFO in action. All right. So what is happening in the district?
Hello again, the CFO in action. Um, so yesterday we had a TSV sponsored EVM, too much V's and B for me. And also this morning we had our district baptism. Congratulations to the newly baptized brethren. And tomorrow we are inviting everyone to please support our musical evangelical mission at Highland Performing Arts Center. The doors will open at 6 p.m. and it will start promptly at 7 p.m. So hope to see everyone there. Most of the people that are here right now are part of that, excluding Brother Marlon.
Brother Marlon will be there to support, though.
Yes,
I'll be there in the dark in the watching, not in a creepy way.
we can put you to work. So back to you, brother.
Okay, thank you very much. That sounds very exciting. Looking forward very much to that musical EVM that is coming up. I'll be watching in the dark with the audience, because that's where we'll be, spectating the musical EVM.
It is.
Okay.
It is gonna be dark.
It's gonna be dark. That's why
It was just an unnecessary.
Yeah. They encourage everyone. They encourage everyone to be there before 7 because they will turn off
Before it gets dark.
before
so you
it gets
can
dark.
see where you're going on. And you
Yes,
can see Brother
everyone's been working very hard, and
Mm.
I'm very excited to see the fruits of everyone's labor for this musical EVM that is coming up. It's going to be amazing. So if
You'll
you have
see
friends
Sister
or
Tia
loved ones,
dance.
invite them to come and attend. It's going
see
to be
Sister
something
Hazel.
you don't want to miss. What was that
Yes.
about Sister Hazel?
Sister Hazel is one of the main actors.
Oh,
actress.
yeah.
And
Oh,
also
wow.
Sister
Sister
May.
May is another supporting actress.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Support
Yes.
me.
Yes, please support.
Yes,
Support
please,
us.
please. Yes, po.
That is awesome. So yes, support everyone. Don't miss out. It's going to be an event that you won't forget, especially when you are leaving the venue after all the fun and festivities. Let's go ahead and go into our chat and just see what. There was a lot of responses for our topic today. It's very nice to see that we have so many readers. Let's go ahead and read a few more before we close out our program for today. We have one here from Sister Diane Laredo. She says, I love having physical books. I like holding a tangible book and flipping the pages. Plus, they double as decor in my apartment. Yes, books look very nice on a bookshelf. So they give off a nice aesthetic if they're displayed very nicely. So can be quite impressive for guests that walk into your living space and say, "Wow, this person reads a lot of books." So I have one of those, but I don't think I've read most of those books on the book the bookcase. So um,
I will just add on to that. The thing about having books, if you have to move, because I recently moved a few months ago, they are
oh,
heavy. That's the
oh,
one thing. That's another con of having physical books. Because I love my physical books. I love my bookshelf, but
It's hard when you're moving.
transferring them, yeah, that's the only thing to keep in
I
mind.
imagine.
Convert it digital.
Yeah. We have a birthday greeting here from Sister Lita Regino. She says, "Happy birthday to Ka Noel." So happy birthday. We have a greeting all the way from the Philippines from uh, the name is Mario Oka. Says, "Good morning here in the Philippines and stay safe, brethren. Greetings from the local of Brixtonville, district of Caloocan North." Did I pronounce that correctly? Thank
Yes, you
you so
did.
much for tuning in. Yes, from tuning in all the way from the Philippines. We appreciate that here in the District of Washington State, that others are listening to our program outside of the district as well. And with that, we will leave you with this cliffhanger statement, and that is, have you ever written a story? Share your writing process next week in the live chat. So we're going from reading stories to writing stories in our topic of discussion next week. So don't miss that. That will be a lot of fun. So with that said, we want to give a special thanks to Brother Eduardo Manalo, our Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Manalo, our SEPC President and CFO Coordinator, Brother Ramil Regino, our District Minister, Brother Eli Rivera, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Chris Valdez, our CFO Overseer, Brother Manly Andaya, our Executive Producer, the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in today, and the INC Radio Tech crew. This show would not be made possible without all of you. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. And with that, from INC Radio Seattle, we will see you
You
later.
later.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.